All right. So if you would please go ahead and mute yourself if you're not already. And here we grow. As you come into your comfortable seat, let us join hands just in an interlocked position, and begin moving your knuckles around. So we're just going to kind of create this wave. So we start to really move into the wrist here and then switch directions. And so we're going to play with the brain that way as we move the elbows around and then switch directions again. Great. And then we're going to separate the arms and we're going to do it with the arms. So this is flossing. So we're creating this floss around the shoulders. And as you do this, you're going to notice that your thoracic cavity is starting to ebb and flow with the movement. And as you elevate your tip edge of your tongue to the roof of your mouth behind your top teeth, you know that, then we're able to breathe in and out through the nose. So we're able to bring in longer, deeper breaths and then switch the directions. So we're nerve flossing, and just keep up with this motion. If you have some other motion in there that you really want to kind of play with and see if the arms want to move in other ways, then do that too, please. Good, and about one more minute of this, and then I'll just really play around with the arms. Moving now in other directions, kind of funky ways, but in order to engage with the left and right brain, do things that are not easy. So if you're right-handed and you tend to kind of lead with your right, do the opposite and lead with your left and vice versa. Great, and then we're going to wrap the right arm over the left and come into Gurudasana. If you're working with a shoulder injury, then just grasp a hold of your shoulders. Close your eyes and sit up tall, crown head over your tailbone. Start to pull the pubic bone a little bit up toward the navel so you're engaging those lower abdominal muscles. That lower abdomen. Good. And now, if you're holding onto your shoulders, raise the elbows up, and on the exhale, lower the elbows down. If you're in full Gurudasana, drive the fingertips up. And then on the exhale, dip the elbows down toward the chest. So we want to think about this lymphatic pump around the chest, where the drainage really happens right here under your collarbones. Start to get into a very audible Ujjayi breathing. Okay, and about 5 more. I really want you to kind of feel the internal shake here. Just allow your eyes to be closed so that you can see from the inside. You can feel all that fascial webbing starting to open up in the back of the body, and perhaps even all the way down through the waist. And 2 more. And 1 more. Right, and then as you release your arms, bring the soles of your feet together. But remember, in our bound angle, we're not closely knit in our bound angle, but our feet are a little wider apart. And take your hands around and behind you, perch up onto your fingertips, thumbs in toward your buttocks, 4 fingers behind you. And now really hug the shoulder blades toward each other. Loop the shoulders out and away from your earlobes. Pull the nape of your neck back and see how long and tall you can get from sitting bones to crown head. And to just spend this time kind of hugging the rhomboids toward each other, but a hug, not a clench. Real deep chest breaths. I'm starting to access those lower lobes of the lungs. When you get down there into those lower lobes of the lungs, see if you can kind of pause and hold, retain the breath, so retention at the bottom. And then as you exhale, retention at the top, meaning when the exhalation is completely gone, free from breath, hold the breath out a little bit, and you're going to feel the abdomen, the front part of the stomach, hug back toward the spine. Great. And then come around, grasp a hold of your feet, your ankles or your shins, wobble a little bit left to right, so the buttocks can move backward, loop the shoulders again, and now begin a descent, a forward fold with a long spine, as if you don't have any vertebra in your back, as if it were one frozen aspect just moving forward over your thighs. Relax the shoulders a little bit more, relax the clenching of your hands around your feet. Notice that your hands, your knuckles are soft. You're just letting your breath draw you upward on the inhale, and exhale, lower you downward. 5 more breaths. Three more. You're feeling how your tailbone and sitting bones, as well as your sacrum, is moving behind you as the crown of your head is pulling perhaps even beyond your biggest toe, your longest toe. The neck is long, and that tendency for you to pull your face forward, see if your face can just droop a little bit more downward toward your feet or toward your sticky mat. Here you feel your side waist lengthen when you allow that to happen. Inhale, root down through the feet and elongate through the spine, coming all the way upright. And now we're going to wrap the left arm over the right. Left arm over the right, or again, grasp a hold of the shoulders. And now just hold it here. Kind of find that happy place somewhere between elevated at 90 degrees and dipped down and toward the chest, somewhere in the middle. Stay with that retention of at the top of the inhale and the retention of the bottom of the exhale. So you start to play with your belly here a little bit. We're going to eventually activate and engage with Mula and Uddiyana Bandha. Mula root and Uddiyana navel. Sealing in the energy. It's called a lock, but it should really be called a seal, because those of us who think of lock, we think of clench tight, but instead think of hug, a seal. So every time you exhale all of your air, you're sealing the frontal skin toward the back skin and then elevating the navel up and back. Now draw it up a little and down a lot. And then up and down. Remember, if you're holding onto your shoulders, you're doing this very same thing, raising the elbows up and lowering them down. Think of an elevator just smoothly moving upward. Top floor, and then exhale all the way down to the bottom floor, down into the basement of your chest. 3 more, inhale. Some of us can tend to really be frontal chest breathers. See that you're breathing through the back of your body. 2 more. So you're starting to exercise the back of the lungs, the back of the ribs. Inhale. Exhale. Good, and release. Now this time, instead of bringing the feet in bound angle pose, to see if you can extend, I know you can, extend your legs outward, and now reach the hands behind you, thumbs in toward your buttocks, 4 fingers back behind you. Flex the feet here just a bit, it doesn't have to be full-blown Tadasana. Hug the shoulder blades toward each other. Inhale, elevate. I want you to think about the perineum and the inner thighs drooping a little bit more toward the floor. As you hug, not squeeze, hug the shoulder blades toward each other. In this prasarita posture, hugging shoulder blades, start to feel the chest elevate and the face as well. So you start to move into some cervical alignment here. The nape of the neck is not contracted, it is open. The gate is open back there between your cranium, your skull, and your neck. And the throat able to retrieve your breath and take it all the way down into your lungs. 2 more breaths. Now start to scoot your big toe forward away from your body as your small toes inch in toward your flesh, toward your thighs and torso. And then maybe you want to stay where you are. Otherwise, you can possibly bring your hands inward. That would be great. And if you want to bow downward, that's good too. As long as we're making sure that the spine is more still in kind of that frozen position, as if there are no vertebrae. Nothing else changed, just the position of your hands, or they didn't change in that spine. Five more of your long, deep Ujjayi breathing breaths. Retain at the top, retain at the bottom, scoot the navel back and up. Inhale, inflate. Mula Bandha, hugging even the perineum, even whenever it's sprawled wide open like this. And then exhale, pull the navel back. Soften Mula Bandha. Pull the navel up. Inhale, inflate Mula Bandha. From where you pee from your urethra all the way back and up and toward your anus. We want to engage both the urethra muscles and the prostate or vaginal muscles, as well as the anal muscles, the rectal muscles. And that's always in our Mula Bandha. One more deep breath. While you're here, we're going to allow the right arm to move down inside of the right leg, left hand onto your waist. Feel the left side open as you start to drip down this right side body. Turn your face upward to get some nice rotation in your neck. And now raise your left arm straight up. Now bend the elbow as if it's going to come back and behind your ribs, and then inhale as if you're pushing a 5-pound weight up, push up. And then pull it in, pull the elbow down and behind your ribs, keep the feet flexed, and then drive it up. Face is always looking upward. You don't need to look at me. I promise I'll lead you. Pull the elbow down behind your ribs a little. You're pulling and stretching on the neck and shoulder here, and then back up. And exhale down. Keep the feet flexed, big toe moving away. I know there's a lot of action down there, but once you solidify it, it's in, it's sealed. The deal is sealed. Elbow down. Push the 5-pound weight up. One more exhale down. Use your inhalation to really push the 5-pound weight up. Great. Look down at the right thigh or knee and then lower your left hand down. Now frame your right leg and kind of lift your torso up so you can get some rotation. You can't rotate without elevation. And then exhale and start your descent a little bit down and over your right leg. Keep the feet flexed as you forward bend. It might be sticky in there, understandably so. You've got ribs and a pelvic bone. You can't move those, right? But we can keep working the torso up and using the rotation to exhale and forward bend. Think about this abdomen. We really want to bring some pulse in there today, y'all. We want to make sure that we're using Uddiyana and Mula Bandha, that we're allowing the skin, the fascia, the organs to inflate and deflate. 2 more breaths. If you're feeling pressure in your left hand, kind of scoot it out so you cannot feel congestion around the shoulder. Inhale, lift the face and the heart. Stay here. Right hand's glued. Inhale and raise the left arm all the way back up. Look up. Hand on the waist, and then inhale and come all the way out of it, just the same way you came in. I don't know about you, but for me, I feel like those muscles are like, ooh, they're kind of screaming in there. So just take a forward bend just for a moment. This is just an interim posture, forward bend, and then inhale, come back up. Let those muscles kind of stop screaming or talking, whatever they're doing. And now rotate, rotate, rotate over to the left side. Feel the length again from ribs elevating up and off of your left pelvic bone. Rotate, 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 and then begin your descent whenever you're ready. We'll get into the shoulder here in just a moment. We're just kind of coming in backwards. We'll finish our full circle with the right arm elevated here in just a moment. We just want to give back to the right side what we just did with the left. And keep the feet flexed. I know they're getting a little lazy, but keep the big toes active so that these arches are well prepared to support you. Again, with your right arm, if it's feeling sticky or kind of glued in there, walk it out a little bit so that you can bend the elbow or straighten the arm and shrug the shoulder up near the ear. Anything that feels really therapeutic and not, again, not congested or tight. Okay, inhale, lift the face, lift the heart, bringing your left hand, just go ahead and place it on the shin first and place the hand on the waist, right hand on the waist, and now turn the palm open, inhale, and now raise your right arm straight up, look up. Hold it here. Really feel how those left bottom ribs are scooching toward the front of whatever room that you're in, that front of that space, and now bend the elbow behind the ribs, keep your gaze up. 5-pound weight push-up. Good, exhale, pull the elbow down. Inhale, push up. If we can keep the face just exactly where it is, then this is going to allow the neck to really stretch. Those traps to really open up, the levator scapula to really open, sternocleidomastoid, platysma, scalenes. Bring it down. If you're hearing any popping or cracking, I'm sure it's probably not your shoulder. I'm assuming it's those attachments around the shoulder. Keep dripping down the left leg if you can. Exhale down. Inhale up. One more, exhale down. Inhale, push up. Good. Exhale. This time as you bring it down, bring the hand onto the waist and slowly bring yourself all the way back up through center. That's great. We're going to dip back a little bit onto the sitting bones, onto the back of the sitting bones to sweep the legs around, cross your ankles, and come over and onto all fours, over and onto all fours. Great. As you come into all fours, we're going to let the sitting bones lead you back toward your child's pose. Sitting bones are going to scoot you back. So this honoring the hamstrings opening, the adductors opening, and then pull your body forward like you're going to go into a modified plank / cobra. Loop the shoulders back and lift the chest. You might need to readjust your knees, and then exhale and send the buttocks back. And real deep inhale. Inhale, Mula Bandha, come forward. Little back bend if you've got it in you, as long as you're not letting the pelvis just fall, but there is attention to activating those muscles in there. Exhale, back, navel in. Inhale. Exhale. Again, note if you need to readjust your knees. I don't want your legs externally rotating. If anything, I want you to feel them internally rotating. Exhale back. 3 more. Pull the navel up. Inhale. Mula Bandha. Hugging from urethra to those deep rectal muscles. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale, really pull the navel up and back. We played with this last week in our practice. This is the last one. We played with this last week in the practice where we were in an active child's pose and we really worked Uddiyana Bandha. So the same thing. We're just picking up where we left off. But if you weren't here, it's not, you're fine. We're in this together. All right, find all fours. Right hand's going to stay, left arm's going to lift up, and just start to find this opening up of the left side of your chest. Same thing that we did last week. We're going to tuck it in 3 times this week, though. Tuck it all the way in, under, and through. Perch up onto your right fingertips. Look up. And this is not necessarily for the shoulder. It's more for the sacrum. Root the right hand, inhale, and come back up. So what I mean by that is whenever you come down, I really want you to think about sending your right hip and pelvic bone back so that we can remove any pulling upward motion of the right side of your pelvis. It's great for the shoulder, right? It's great for the torso. Last one, inhale up. Exhale, under and through. We'll stay on this one. You're staying on this one, perching up on your right fingertips, looping that right shoulder back, right hip back. Breathe. Deep Ujjayi breathing. 4 more. Really root the left arm down. Y'all know this already, but I have to say it. Push the left arm down through the fingernails, all the way up through the upper arm. You're looking upward, so total rotation of this upper part of the spine. And the right hip's pulling back, removing any stickiness around the sacrum, around the lumbar spine. Good. Ground the hand. Inhale and come up. Lower down onto your forearms. Curl your toes under. Elevate the knees up slowly until fully in your dolphin pose. 5 deep breaths. I want you to think about pulling up through the hips, feeling the shoulders broad, letting the head just drip down. So you're in opposition of head through sitting bones. Your sitting bones are elevated. Your head is hanging downward. Keep breathing. 2 more deep breaths. Great. Now walk the feet back and the elbows forward until you're in a plank on your elbows, on your feet. Now, obviously, Sheila, you're going to be on your knees and just really feeling your core. We're going to hang here for 1 more deep breath. Push your heels back. So you're pulling the fascial web from your heels all the way up through your shoulders. Great. And then lower the knees, uncurl your toes, hold it there. There's a little bit more core. 3, 2, core is on. I hope you're feeling a little shaking. And now lower the pelvis down. You might need to walk your forearms a little forward here. Loop the shoulders out of your earlobes. Pull the nape of the neck back. You're in Sphinx pose for 5 breaths. And just allow the hips and the pelvis to really sink down here. Maybe even walk the thighs in toward each other and uncork them backward. Keep breathing. You're in Sphinx pose. Keep breathing. Lynn, we just went from plank pose to Sphinx pose. All right, and now slowly lower the chest all the way down. Interlace your fingers back and behind your body, and we're going to pull the knuckles back toward the heels. Y'all know this one. Push the baby toes down, hug the shoulder blades toward each other, and then exhale, lower the torso down, chin on the floor, and then raise the arms straight up. And now knuckles back onto the buttocks, pull them back toward the heels, lift up cobra. Baby toes on the floor. Lynn, will you, whoever, okay, good. We're all muted, sorry. Chin down, inhale up. Exhale down, lift the chest. Good, chin down, inhale up. Exhale down. So sometimes we really have to just get in there and work the muscle, work all of those fibers to release. Chin down, last one, arms up. Exhale and release everything. Hands underneath your shoulders. Inhale, push up. Exhale, either downward facing dog or child's pose. Either downward facing dog or child's pose. You choose. 5 breaths. As the yogi, you know internally exactly what you need. Sometimes we want what we want and it's not really what we need. So, of course, the discerning mind knows the difference. So we're really in that powerful, clear discernment, and we're in that total observational, both seeing and listening. All right, so either again, child's pose or down dog. You can either move from down dog to plank or from child's pose to modified plank to a cobra. If you're in your down dog and you're coming through plank, kind of dip the hips down, roll the shoulders back, and then use your core to push you up and push back to down dog. So again, it's the same thing that we just did earlier, moving forward and back. Three more. Last one. Great, and then find your tabletop. Now in this tabletop, we're going to raise the right arm straight up. Rotate, rotate, rotate. You feel how your right hip moves backward, and now tuck it in and under. Left hip moves back. Come on, perch onto your fingertips, like you're going to stay here for 5 minutes. Ground the hand. Inhale. Remember that we're creating this internal confusion in order to create an opening and a strength where necessary. Lower the arm, tuck it through, press it down on your fingertips, and look up. Every time we do this, it's like a Feldenkrais. That's their method originally, which I just love, which is repetition, doing the same movement over and over again in order to gain more space each time. This is it. So we're staying here. Breathe. 5 breaths, left hip way back. You don't have to constrict or you don't have to contract your right hip into your waistline in order to open your left hip. It's kind of more like we're squaring them. Because whenever we're in this pose, inevitably the left hip kind of wants to crank in toward the waist, but we're pushing it out and back. If I were to look at your hips in the room, they would more than likely be square. So just feel that. No compression in the right waist. Great, and then slowly find your way back and into tabletop. Curl the toes under, but if you can't curl your toes under, if you have a broken toe, one of us, then just sit on your heels. Otherwise, we're curled under and with the toes. Great. And then now with your left arm, move it behind you. You can place it on the back of your body here as you raise your right arm up. Maybe you want to clasp hands. Otherwise, you can press the right hand into the back of the head and your left knuckles into your waist. Pull the pubic bone up toward the navel and push so that you're pulling your elbows apart. If you're clasped hands, the same thing. You're pushing your left knuckles into your back so that you can pull the elbows away from the frontal room. 5 more breaths. We're on the toes in order to open up all of those joints in the toes, to reframe the arches where some arches might be tight or underworked. Opening up all of the webbing in and down the foot, the tendons in particular. Pull the pubic bone up, the low ribs down. Last breath. Okay, and then release the hands, bring them down and onto your heels if this is your practice, and start to pull the pubic bone forward into Ustrasana. Otherwise, hands onto your waist, come up into kneeling. Some of us have our toes uncurled, again, only for my broken toe, and then pull the elbows toward each other. That's Sheila with the broken toe. Hug the elbows toward each other, pelvis forward, face up. Great, and then slowly lower the hips down and find downward facing dog. Option would be to raise your left leg up now in your downward facing dog. And just really absorb some magic through your right hamstring, right calf, broad shoulders. So your inverting is no different right now from you doing a handstand, because eventually we're going to do both sides. Pull the low ribs in. That's where you gain strength. That's where someday, if it's desired in your practice, you could go into handstand. Step the left foot next to your left thumb. Pivot the right heel down at a 45-degree angle for preparation of warrior one. Heel toe the left foot out a little bit. Kind of just pop the right foot in just a little. And now raise both arms up and over your head. Pause, hold here. Grasp a hold of your elbows. Pause, hold here. Pull the pubis up, the low ribs down, right pelvic bone forward. Now, same thing that we just did with the arms. The left arm is overhead and the right arm, is that right? Switch, sorry. Left arm is behind you, right arm is up. Okay, and maybe grasp a hold of hands, or again, right hand on the back of the head, left knuckles in your right waist. You can keep inching toward it, and you can eventually even grab a hold of your shirt and kind of pull along that center linear line until maybe the hands touch. And pull the elbows away from the front, pubis up toward the navel. Ribs to the back of the room, kidneys to the back of the room. 2 more breaths. Sink a little bit more through your left leg. Warrior 1, you're stretching the psoas on your right side. You're stretching your right Achilles and up that right gastroc, up the right peroneus muscle of the right lower leg. And this is going to work the foot eventually too. As you exhale and release both arms, we're going to lift the back heel up off the floor and then slowly lower your right hand down. Walk the right leg back and then twist. Raise your left arm up. So you created more girth between your left foot, right foot. 3, 2, long. Crown head pulls away from your heel and the heel away from the crown head. Lower your right knee. Both hands now are inside of your left foot. Both hands inside of your left foot. First, just let the pelvis hang down, sag down like you're in a cobra. 5. We're just letting the pelvis hang down. Think about all that sitting that you typically do. It's the opposite of that. Finding the spirit in your practice, just letting the breath flow through you. And once we get those bandhas in and sealed, the breath just knows magically what to do on its own. It's systematic. And now raise your hips up, kind of pull them back just a little bit. We're not straightening the left leg. We're just pulling the hips backward toward the back heel. Maybe one elbow comes down. Maybe both elbows come down. You're deep in your left hip. Relax the head. 5 breaths. Can you give a little root to your left big toe? And pull the hips back a little bit more, just finding that, that tight band from your left heel all the way down and through your left hip. And then inhale, pop the elbows up if they were down, heel toe the left foot in. Good, lift the back knee up and find your downward facing dog. And just kind of move it out a little bit, just shifting one knee and then the other knee. The right leg's like, oh, yeah. But the left hip is like, whoa. Right? Just kind of play around in there. Also think about while you're doing this that you're massaging your abdomen. 2 more. So really feel that kind of swirling around through the abdomen. Great. And then lower the knees down. That's it. Now the right arm is going to move behind you. Your right arm moves behind you. Remember, your right arm, your elbow, your hand is on the back of the waist, and then the left arm lifts up and over. Now again, maybe you press here and pull the elbows away. Maybe you grab a hold of the shirt, or maybe the hands are ready to latch. Those have to be really long tricep muscles for that to happen. It doesn't mean anything is wrong with you if it doesn't happen. It's just this, oh, wow, okay, that's interesting. Maybe either my biceps are too contracted, that kind of like I am strong, right, where we flex the front arm muscle, or maybe truly the triceps are really tight back there. Whatever you've chosen, keep pulling the elbows away, pubis up, low ribs down, nape of the neck back. I prefer you be on your toes, but if that's just too much for you, certainly understandable. You do what you need. 2 more breaths. Okay, so whatever it is here that you've chosen, 1 more. Full breaths. Mula Bandha on the inhale. Uddiyana, navel locks and pulls up on the exhale. Drawing that energy up into your head. Release your arms. Either grab a hold of your heels and push the pelvis forward for full Ustrasana, or climb it up, hands on your waist or uncurled toes. Pelvis pushes forward, elbows hug toward each other because the shoulder blades are hugging. Face up, breath long. Really stretching the front of the abdomen, strengthening the back from the glutes all the way to the shoulders. All the way up through the back of your neck. 1 more deep breath. As you dip your hips backward, find your downward facing dog. Same thing, an option here is now to bathe in your left hamstring by raising your right leg up, kind of finishing your handstand, your full inversion. If it's kind of halfway out there, it's going to feel pretty heavy. So see if you can keep elevating it and it's kind of detaching the tightness through your left hip. Like you're making space around the joint, not only of the knee, but also of the hip, and certainly always in the shoulders and elbows. The right foot is now going to step next to your right thumb. Remember, you can always grab and drag it. Left heel pivots down, climb up onto your right knee, hold and pause. Walk the right foot a little bit rightward. Maybe the left foot wants to pop a little bit more forward and grab the elbows over your head. Pause here. Left arm around and behind. Right hand's going to grasp a hold of the fingers or the shirt or pushing. That's loud. Or push your hands into the back of your head. The other hand into the waist. That just happened on its own, that loud hung drum. Pull the pubic bone up. 3 more breaths. Sink in, front right knee. Pull the pubic bone up, low ribs down. Bringing breath of life into the back of your heart, into your kidneys. We first start to release the arms. Pivot, lifting the heel up off the floor. Lower the knee, lower the left hand. Walk the foot back and raise the right arm. You know, we never create a compression in any joint, right? I just said it a minute ago. You know this already, so always keep a micro bend in there. Right, and now begin to lower your left knee and bring your right hand inward. At first, we're going to just be in the opposition of sitting, the opposite of sitting, the counter pose of sitting. So maybe you come down onto your elbows already, or maybe just stay here on your hands in cobra with your chest. Witnessing what's happening from your knee, the quadricep, where those quads attach to the pelvic region, where the psoas and those lower abdominals attach around the pelvic body. And giving a newness to the lower lumbar body. And now pull and inch your hips backward. As you inch your hips backward, perhaps coming down onto one elbow if you're not already, and then the other. And pull the right hip back. The more you can do that, the more you're going to get into that hamstring iliotibial band and that stretch from the knee to the hip. Can you relax your head a little bit more so there's no furrowing of the brow, no containing of holding muscles in the face. Really let the collagen flood here into your face. Blood come in and create stimulation. Activating your nervous system with I am safe. Two more breaths. First elevate the face and then the chest, climb up. And this time as you come up, we're not going to go into downward facing dog. You're just going to position yourself into a wide-legged straddle. So grab a hold of your knees. You're in a wide-legged straddle, and we're just going to rock a little bit here left to right. Now as we do this, we're going to let the shoulders shrug up near the ear and then the opposite away from the ear. So just moving here left and right. So we're uncorking the sides of the sacrum. Not necessarily the SI joints, but more the side of the pelvis, I should say. Just keep moving, 3 more each side. You're bringing a lot of stimulation and blood flow around the shoulders and around the pelvic region. Great, and then inhale and come all the way up, kind of take the pressure off. As you do this, we engage the quadriceps and hug the buttock muscles. Take a nice long deep breath. You're as long in your body as you possibly can be with your legs extended. Push the big toes down and come back down into a straddle. Hold on to the knees. We're going to drop the left shoulder down, look up the right, and then back up. And other side. 4 more each time. We're looking up the other side. Keep pulling your knees backward. You kind of feel that pump when you come up a little bit. Hugging Mula Bandha. Every inhale is most important whenever our legs are splayed apart. That's whenever the real work is done, whenever it's not so easy. Navel engages up to the heart on the exhale. Same thing we've been doing. Last one. Those legs are shaking a little bit. It's great. Inhale up and exhale down. Good. Inhale back into your straddle and then slowly come up. Woo. Engage your quads, your knees up into your thighs, long through your torso. All right, turn your toes forward, heels apart a little bit, so we're pigeon-toed inward a little. Root the big toes down, so we're protecting and strengthening the ankles. Interlace your fingers back and behind your body. Hug the shoulder blades and hinge through the hips. So again, it's as if the spine has no vertebrae in it. And then continue your exhalation. Eventually, the arms are going to come up and over the head. And then we're going to take the knuckles to the left and look up, and then to the right. Great, and then just switch again, side to side, 2 more times. So this is working the pecs at the same time as really hugging the triceps toward each other. An infinite heart opener and an immediate heart opener. If you've got a lot of weight in your heels, bring them to the front, ball down to the feet. Now go down, forward fold a little bit deeper. Hold it here, put a little bit more pressure in the ball mound. Rise up through your sitting bones like you're trying to get your hamstrings ultra stretched here. Like that elasticity, you're really working it. Hands still interlace, bring them onto the lower back, then hold on to your hips and pelvis. Bend your knees forward to come out. Good, heels in, toes out, just the heels in. You don't need to maneuver your feet at all, just the heels draw inward. Stay in this position and push the pelvis forward into your Charlie Chaplin, kind of lean back. We're not going to lean the head back, just the torso back. You're still looking down like your gaze is at your solar plexus. Great, and then root the feet and inhale, come all the way up. Keeping your feet where they are, however, you might need to stretch yours out just a little bit more. This is kind of this primal movement. As we bend the left knee, the right arm's going to push like we're really moving energy out and away, and then we pull it in, and then switch, and pull it in, and switch, out and in. Keep the crown head still over your tailbone. We're not leaning forward for it. The arms are doing the work. You're really working the sides of the ribs. The erectors along the spine. That other arm can even move behind you a little bit. 3 more each side. Really bending the knees, working again that word elasticity of the musculature. Push it away and pull it in. Push out what's not necessary. Pull in what is. This is the last round. Push out, pull it in. Push out what's not necessary and back in and hold it. Good, heels in, toes out. Raise the arms up. On the exhale, we bend the knees and lion's face 5 times. Inhale up. Hug the buttocks. Really cross your eyes. Get your ribs way up off of your pelvis. 2 more. Last one. Hold here, hold. The toes can move forward now, whatever feels really right for you. On your inhale, lengthen. Your torso is more forward. Crown head's not over your tailbone anymore. As you exhale, move all the air out. Doesn't have to be lion's face anymore unless that just really felt good to you. And the navel pulls back and up for Uddiyana Bandha. Long Kriya, okay? pulling navel back and up. Hold it out. Inhale, look forward like you're a cow lift. Exhale all the air. Pull the navel back and up. Inhale. 3 more, exhale. Inhale, you might want to kind of jiggle your hips a little bit to kind of unstick some of those lower multifidus and erector spinae muscles. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale and release. Good, you're out of your knees. Find your way into your tabletop first. And cross your ankles and sit down. Whenever you find your seat and anything else that you might need, we're going to move into alternate nostril breathing. We're going to do 10 rounds. So fold your peace fingers in. The ring finger and pinky finger are going to be elevated. Your thumb's going up high on the tissue, not down low of the nose, but up high. Pull now, use the ring finger and pinky now to pull the skin of the other side. Let the elbow relax so your upper arm kind of lays into your chest. Inhale and inhale in through the ring finger side. Bring Gyan Mudra into the other fingers. Switch and exhale. Feeling that loop down in that lower hand. Inhale through the thumb. Connecting you with all that is divine. Switch to exhale. So whenever we're in pranayama practice, we're holding, hugging Mula Bandha the entire time. Inhale, ring. Keep Mula Bandha the whole time. Switch. Stay on your thumb side and inhale. Switch. The spine's not fluctuating. Inhale. Switch to exhale. In other words, whenever I say it's not fluctuating, it's not rising and falling, just the breath is. Inhale. And the reason why is so that whenever we switch to exhale, whenever we are exhaling fully, we want to feel that stretch happen vertically. Inhale, relax the shoulders. Mula Bandha the whole time. Switch. Inhale. Switch to exhale. 2 more. Inhale. Feel the rectal muscles really rise up toward the back of the sacrum. Exhale. Inhale. Switch to exhale. Feeling the urethra getting stronger, the prostate, the vaginal muscles hugging, drawing upward. Inhale. And this is the last exhale. Lower your hand down, back both now in Gyan Mudra. Exhale all of your air. And as long as you're not menstruating and working with your heart getting too fluttered, too active in the heart, high blood pressure, meaning it's not good for high blood pressure, we'll do breath of fire. Those of you that do have a heart condition, you can do breath of fire mildly, like, okay, the rest of us will move at more of a metronome, okay, so we'll inhale deeply, and same thing, you're letting your belly inflate, deflate, okay, and maybe your hand on your lower abdomen to experience this at first, and then bring it back to Gyan Mudra. Truth knowledge, we're looping our systems, we're looping the space of nature around us and within us, everything of nature, we are that. Inhale, exhale. Mula Bandha the whole time. Keep going. Think about pulling the floor of the earth up and in you. And every time you're exhaling, you're pulling energy both up into the torso, but also up into your shoulders and head. 2 more. Inhale deeply, Mula Bandha. Hold the breath. 10. Exhale all of the air out. Keep it out. Pull the navel back and up to the heart. Uddiyana Bandha for 10. How much can you suck your sideways front of the abdomen and the back up to the heart? Inhale in. 1 more round, breath of fire. Here we go. Remember, you're either going fast with the rapid metronome or you're going slower, like this gentle panting. That's what's happening on both sides. Mula Bandha is engaged, really pulling the floor of the earth up and inside of you, pulling all of that energy up into your heart, activating into your head. Keep breathing. Five, four, three, two, one. Inhale, hold the breath for 15. Exhale all the air out. Keep exhaling until it is all the way out, and we hold the navel back and up. Haul and hold for 15. Pull it up. Inhale and begin to open your eyes. Fill up your body with breath. Take a twist and a turn over to your right and over to your left. Keep the spine long, no grinding. And switch. So we're really letting all of the tissues absorb the pranayama. To the left. Last one to the right. And over to the left. And as you release, start to find your way all the way down and onto your back with your right knee into your chest. All the way down and onto your back with your right knee into your chest. Straighten your right leg, hold it. Bow into your right leg, hold it. Take the right leg, lower it, hover it off the floor a good 6 inches. Your arms behind you a good 6 inches. Your head is not on the floor yet, hold it. And release like you're just completely left knee into your chest. Y'all know what that means, right? Pull your chin up into your knee. Hold it. Exhale, lower the head. Straighten the left leg. Hold it. Bow up into the left leg. Hold it. Hover the left leg over the floor, 6 inches. Arms behind you, 6 inches. Head is off the floor, so you're really working the muscles of the neck. Exhale and release. Lower your arms down by your sides. Suck your shoulder blades underneath you. Uncork your legs. Breathe in and hold your breath. Stay there laying on your back. Exhale all of the air. Breathe in slower now. Exhale a little slower now. And now just by nature, your breath is flowing in and out. If your mind wanders, just bring it back. And bring it back just to the one that is watching this divine being resting in space, hovering over this planet that feeds and nourishes you with its oxygen, with its fruits and vegetables, and with its canopy and its roots, with its rain and its sun. This planet that pulses you. While you lay here, we'll chant the mantra of Om. You can join in, please do, or just lay there and hear and feel the vibration move through you. Some other quality of that energy body relaxed. Whatever is bound, whatever feels tied to a story or a feeling, let that unravel. The clenching of your safety. Just trust, I am one of nature. So I ebb and flow. I have my challenges to survive. And thus I do survive. Breathe in this sanctified, pure, natural breath that heals and recovers, that challenges and survives. And on your exhale, fold over to your side. Allow your forehead to pour in prostration, in pranam, to the mat or the floor. And then up and into your seat. And Gyan Mudra again, crown head over your tailbone again. Breath of life down this aligned conduit again and again and again. Relax the bandhas and just feel the energy that's around the pelvis and around the abdomen into the heart. Feel that connection. What we engage, we must also learn to relax and release. bowing your hands in Anjali Mudra, bowing to yourself, all of your teachers and guides, those that you resonate with and those that you don't, all those that help you grow and challenge to survive, all the challenges that you've been through physically, emotionally, financially, anything that is applied to you, that you can evolve this lifetime to that within you and that within me, that within us collectively. Namaste.